I like cars. When I was 8, I started memorizing the different names of different car models and noticing the design changes between generations. The other day, I was driving in the mountains and I saw a car I'd completely forgotten about, the Dodge Dakota. This was Dodge's small pickup truck, and it was a fairly common vehicle when I was 8, but these days all that's left of it is its younger brother, the Dodge Durango, and a game called Dodge Dakota that I like to play, where my friend Dakota tries to spray.
Get you next time.
I'm Gabriel, and this is Josh, and we like cars.
Yes, the car, the automobile. It's been an interest since I was yay tall, which is longer ago than it may look. But there's one vehicle that is of interest to us today, and that is a small pickup. But more importantly, the disappearance of it.
To understand what happened, let's start with a history lesson. Right now, there are 4 major pickup manufacturers in the US: Ford, Chevrolet, Ram, and Toyota. All of them make a full-size model, and 3 out of the 4 have a mid-size model. So what happened to the little guys? Well, let's take the 3 mid-size models. Each of these actually started out as a compact truck. Toyota was the first to the game with the release of the Hilux in 1969 in North America. Thanks to OPEC doing what they always do, the subsequent decade saw small, efficient Japanese cars become very popular. Ford and Chevy had the good sense to join Toyota in the compact truck market in the 70s, and by join I mean buy trucks from Isuzu and Mazda and stick new badges on them. It took 10 years, but in 1982 they finally came out with their own models: the Chevrolet S10 and the Ford Ranger, all American small trucks. These each sold well enough to get a second generation in the mid-90s, which were followed shortly by Toyota replacing the Hilux in 1995 with an America-specific model called the Tacoma. Because Tacoma is in America. The first decade of the new millennium, however, saw a change in trucks and cars in general. They got bigger. The S10 was the first to go, being replaced by the mid-size Colorado in 2003. The Tacoma was made larger for its second generation in 2004, another mid-size pickup. And in 2012, Ford simply stopped making the Ranger. But in 2019, it came back as, of course, a mid-size pickup.
As a consequence, the small truck experience is one we never really had. But to get a better sense for why they fell out of favor, we're now going to get in one and see what it's like.
Alright everyone, welcome to the 1999 Ford Ranger, driven here by James. When it came out of the factory, at 119 horsepower, an inline Ford. James here is the good old-fashioned 5-speed manual option. How's the reliability been across those 3 years? Because I know some people make the jokes Ford or fix or repair daily, but we know sometimes these older ones, these Rangers, just seem to be workhorses that nothing can kill them.
I had to replace the radiator after about a year of owning it. But other than that, it's a very lightly used truck.
So this truck first came out, it's advertised to have 40 miles per gallon, just half cab.
It's got enough space, it's comfy, it's been good to me.
And here's what we're comparing it to. This is the 2006 Chevrolet Silverado. It has a 4.3-liter V6 engine.
It's not a very fast truck, but I kind of like that. Like you notice, the acceleration kind of takes a bit to kick in and everything.
It does. I do like how
Other
soft
cars.
these seats are.
You know what? I'll say something I don't enjoy. This thing drives like trash in the snow. That's actually why I have sandbags in the back of my truck, because it gets stuck very frequently because it's rear-wheel drive.
This had, when it came out, 16 mpg in the city. And I do think this is actually the ideal size for a truck cab, because most trucks these days have like a full-sized back seat, which simply makes it too long if you're going to get a bed that is long enough for it to be justifiably called a truck. This way you can put the adults in the front and the children and amputees in the back. Having gotten my cancelable line in, we met up with Josh and James to compare notes. How was it?
Good. It's a good small truck. I like the Ford Ranger.
Okay. Well, I like this.
How do you?
You like that, I like this. That doesn't teach us anything, because what we're trying to figure out is why more people like this than this.
That is true, because you can look at it, everything is turning this size minimum nowadays.
What we've done so far is simply ride them on roads. And that does teach us some things. That teaches us about the ride quality.
Very
It was
good.
nice in here. Good
Very
in there?
good. For a 22-year-old truck, very good.
But there is more to a truck than simply ride quality. We have to do some other tests if we really want to understand why this killed this. 3, 2, 1, go!
Definitive win from Becca.
Hand doesn't.
Okay, want to do an actual speed test now?
I suppose we probably should. As fun as that was, it just tells who has a better arm, honestly.
That's me.
Because these trucks are a bit older and the drivers aren't professional, we're doing a 10 to 60 instead of a 0 to 60, which should put a bit less stress on the engines and transmissions.
And I should explain why this is relevant, because the two elements, main elements of speed are weight and power. The Ranger is clearly smaller.
Yes. It's an
Like-
inline 4. This is a V6.
This is a V6, but it is the smallest engine that was available on the Silverado.
The Ranger did it in 17.62.
13.3. Good celebration. The two most important aspects of a truck, of course, are its ability to carry things and its ability to tow things. We don't have anything to tow.
No, we don't. We are in short supply of that. What we do have is hot weather and a tarp.
So we're copying a trend one of us saw on the internet and turning these into hot tubs, cold tubs, and taking them through drive-thrus. And on the way, we'll see how they perform. We're going to try to fill them to the maximum capacity they're able to bear and see how they both do.
Yes, the Silverado did outperform the Ranger, but the margins weren't massive. The Ranger's payload capacity was within a couple 100 pounds of the Silverado, and the 10 to 60 gap wasn't massive either. There were extra factors such as the Ranger being a 5-speed, James not being a race car driver, and the fact that he was shifting by ear, but this less expensive, less powerful, compact truck, it's a better bang for your buck. But it still disappeared. And it's because people like the big trucks.
Have a look at any parking lot in America and you'll see evidence of a trend that's been going on for the past 2 or 3 decades. New cars keep getting bigger. Gone are the efficient little Japanese cars of the 70s and 80s. Small sedans and small hatchbacks are falling out of popularity. And Ford, one of America's biggest and most American car manufacturers, announced that it would stop making normal consumer cars smaller than a crossover. Americans have an appetite for large vehicles. And as advances in car technology make that appetite more affordable, cars just keep getting bigger. This effect is even more pronounced in trucks because of the nature of the vehicle. If you're going to spend money on a truck, it's because you want a vehicle that can carry things. And a bigger truck can carry more things. Not only that, it has more seating, so you can carry more people to carry the things in and out of the truck. And it has a bigger engine, so you can carry heavier things. And it looks more powerful because it's bigger and more powerful. Altogether, bigger trucks are more appealing and more useful as trucks because there are simply more trucks.
The disappearance of the small trucks is unfortunate. They were the perfect small utility vehicle with no need for the size, capacity, or price tag of these large trucks. They could do things in the city that these large trucks couldn't do, like park on the street. I can't deny today's trucks are amazing, and they keep getting more advanced. But why do we need to sacrifice size for all this tech?
And consider this. Over the course of my research for this video, I learned that the Dodge Dakota was never a compact. It was always mid-size, but today's trucks are so huge that by comparison, the early 2000s model I saw the other day looked tiny. Pickup trucks have become these massive affairs, practically tanks with light luxury interiors, comfortable seating for 6, and enough power to pull an actual tank behind it. Which is good, but they simply don't all need to be that way. Some trucks should be like this. Simply, everything a truck needs to be.
But there is news. Ford just released a new model called the Ford Maverick. The Maverick is a hybrid 40 mpg front-wheel drive miniature horse. That's if you can fit a miniature horse in the bed. It's a measly 4.5 feet long. The old Ranger came with a minimum 6-foot bed size. This to me sounds like someone cut off the top of a Mini Cooper and welded it to the back of a Prius.
And that's not all. Hyundai came out with a compact last year, the Santa Cruz. But look at it. They managed to make it look simultaneously too round and too triangular, and the bed is only 4 feet long, so it barely counts as a truck. It is a crossover, with the back sliced off. If this is what they're going to try to bring compact trucks back with, then I'm sorry, but they just aren't.
I knew I'd get you eventually.
Baby, what car you drive? When you gonna pick me up? Give me your emotion. Ride like an aerostar. Baby, what's tonight? When you gonna
It's dancing for Rachel, but she didn't really see it.
Oh.